see a schooler.
You never got up this early to go fishing.
Yes, before 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I told
About
Brandon.
3 hours for your practice time.
I told Brandon if I don't see a schooler this morning, I'm sleeping until 7:30 tomorrow.
I should have grabbed some bagels. I'm gonna steal a bagel.
You gonna do that? I just want half of one. Maybe I'll use this thing.
Yeah. I used it. Put the bagels up, but turn it up because it's too low. That might be too high.
I'll try ball it. Yeah, I cut that off. That sound makes me so angry.
There's so more.
Cause it goes, I could hear it this morning. What time did you sled? Like 4:30?
No.
You said 4:05. It might have been his.
That would have been mine, man.
YouTube. Watch Arrow on Netflix.
You're not gonna teach me how to download the episodes on the phone. Mm-hmm.
You don't have to. We got service here, so you just stream. Golly, I'm gonna burn more energy eating this bagel than I am getting from it.
You don't have to drink water while you're eating a bagel. But it helps. That's our phrase. We'll throw that in there anywhere we can. But it helps.
Gonna leave right now and make it at 5:56.
How far is it?
24 minutes.
Good. I like having a little drive to the ramp. What you think about your life decisions? On the way to the ramp. You don't always have access to a Keurig like we got here. A little Nescafe, instant coffee. Not the best, but you get used to drinking when you're traveling. Look, we got windows that are all intact. No holes in the walls. No raccoons living with us. Pretty nice. Definitely the best place of the year we stay.
What is he making over there? I think Bobby got him some food. We might
Our
have.
pet. He did give him something, didn't he? I think he's got a friend.
My high five this morning.
Oh, that's a big one. He did catch something. Caught two.
Oh, yeah. God, you touching that thing weirds me out.
He's got to pet him in the morning.
Hey, give me a coffee again. You know, man, the Cup's special. It's a one-time-a-year deal. Couldn't hardly sleep last night. FLW, you know, gives anglers an awesome opportunity to make a career. This is kind of the tournament that puts that exclamation point on that. It's pretty awesome. Well, this is like your what, 37th one of these? I probably would if I was you.
I'm going to get it. I think I'm going to need it. Where you going?
You get toilet paper out of his truck.
I wouldn't get it. I think I'm going to need it.
He needs it every single morning to practice.
He needs it every morning?
Yeah. I need it.
Socks on.
It's hard to believe it's been a year since I won this tournament, but you know, that one don't pay the bills. You got to get that next one. You got to keep getting those next wins, do good in the next tournaments, and just focus on down the road. It's cool to talk about the past, but you can't ride that forever. So maybe we can go get us another big silver trophy this week. Biggest thing's gonna be just kind of watching for schoolers. I'm gonna stop and rig a few rods here in a minute, but this first hour I may not even cast any. Just gonna idle around, look for bait, look for brush, try to get a feel for, you know, what the thermocline is. Just whole 9 yards, just really feeling the lake out right now and get an idea for, you know, how I want to approach this practice. That's the biggest thing. You can get a set idea of I'm gonna go do this, this, and this, but the problem is if you get it too set in your head and you're not fishing free, then you know you can miss what the fish and the lake's trying to tell you. So I try not to be too set in any one direction, especially on this first day. I just like to come out here and just kind of feel things out, like I said, I don't even have any rods rigged because I don't know what I want to fish with. As it comes time to, something I want to fish with or throw, I'll pick a rod out, put some fresh line on it, rig it up. It doesn't take but 4 or 5 minutes to rig a rod up, and just kind of go like that, because I've done it before where I rig all this stuff up because I think the lake's going to be a certain way, and I get out there in the first hour, I'm pulling line and baits off, and I got over that real quick. So we're going to look around, see if we see any schoolers, and just try to get a feel for what's going on this week. A big thing in today's time is, we've got access to the internet. There's so much information out there, the new technologies, everything that helps us find fish. But I feel like a lot of the younger generation relies on that so much that the art of just fishing, gets overlooked. I mean, sometimes, you can't get out here and graph them. You got to go down the bank and you got to figure out if they're going to be on a stump or if they're in little bits of grass or they're feeding on bluegills, all that. That's the kind of stuff that nature tells you, that your electronics and other information just doesn't show. So, when I grew up fishing, my dad's boat for the first, 16 years of my life just had 2 little round flashers on it. And I had to learn how to fish by just letting the fish tell me what they wanted. And I think that that's a big thing that this younger generation could really benefit from, is maybe sometimes going out and leaving your graphs at the house and not studying a lake before you get to it. Just show up and go see if you can figure out how to get a bite, and just stay in tune with nature and what it's trying to tell you. I think that's kind of a lost art in this day and age, and it's super critical to know how to do that against these guys, because there's going to be days that your instincts is all you're going to have. The coolest part about the Cup, in my opinion, is in a tour event, let's just use this year for example, we had 180 boats you're fishing against. You have co-anglers in the boats with you the first 2 days. It's just, that's a lot of factors to deal with, to try to win a tournament. I mean, it makes it, in my opinion, FLW Tour events the hardest tournament to win in the world. Everything's just really got to go right. But the Cup's so cool because this is 50 guys. I've won, tournaments at home, team tournaments, club tournaments that had 50 boats in them. So it's cool to kind of get in that mindset for this tournament. You've only got to beat like 49 other guys, however many it is, 50 other guys. You don't have any co-anglers. It's just you versus, that small group of people. So it's the cream of the crop from this year fishing this tournament. But it's, if you like to play the odds game, this one's your best odds, the whole year to win an event. And it helps you fish a lot cleaner when you get in that mindset. So that's been that was my whole goal last year, was to kind of get in that mindset and not let the glamour of what was where I was at and what was going on get in my head. I just kind of focused on it all the whole time last year, as it being just another tournament at the house. If you get too caught up in being at the Forrest Wood Cup and the cameramen and the media and all the spectators and all that, your mind gets off of what you're really here to do, which is, catch 15 bass bigger than everybody else's. So little things like that to focus on throughout the tournament, I think really helps. It's last year I had a really good pattern. I was catching them on topwater bait, and it was a ton of fun to just, like I said, just to focus on getting that next bite. Anything to get your mind off of being too excited about where you're at helps. I sat in class for 18 years through high school and 4 years of college, and 70% of the time I was in class, I was thinking about, winning a tournament, daydreaming about that moment. And when it really gets there, it's unbelievable. It's hard to put into words, everything that you ever dreamed of plays out right in front of you. And man, it was so surreal. It was probably, a week or two after the tournament before it just really sank in. At that moment, I got so in tune with just going fishing, getting that next bite, trying not to get caught up in the deal that, man, it almost didn't seem real. But when, Brandon's weight was called out and I knew I'd had enough to win, and that confetti starts falling and you walk over there and grab that trophy and hold it up in front of 20,000+ people. It's I don't know, it's hard to put into words. I almost get a little emotional thinking about it. It's something I hope I get to experience a few more times in life. It was a great moment. It makes all this hard work and getting up early and being away from your family, it's what makes it all worth it. It's what we live for. I mean, that's literally everything we go through out here. I mean, a lot of people think professional fishing's, glorious, and it's a great job. It's what I hope I do for the rest of my life. But man, I spend a lot of time away from my family. Spend a lot of money, and just sunburns, lack of sleep. I mean, there's so many things that go into it. That make it a challenging job at times. And that moment when you get to hold that trophy up, it's not about the money, it's not about anything, it's just about that victory. It's an unbelievable feeling. It makes it all worth it. Makes 20 years of trying to get to that point all sweet and worth it. The number one thing that I get asked is, being the returning champion, does that put extra pressure on me? Does it stress me out? And the truth of it is, no, it really doesn't. I know what can happen. I know how quick that things can go your way and how life-changing it is. So that just helps me get a little extra focus on the job at hand and catching bass instead of just getting caught up in the moment too much. So no, I'm probably as relaxed at this tournament as any of them throughout the year. Throughout the year, you're trying to make sure you get on enough fish to get enough points, to make it here, to get a check. All of those things are, things you think about throughout the year, but this one's about winning. You're getting paid for being here. You get 4 days of practice. It's, it's, in my opinion, it's the one you should stress about the least throughout the whole year. So I try to enjoy it and have fun with it. I hope to, one day fish as many cups as Andy Morgan, but if the chances are there that I won't. So I need to just enjoy every single one of them and take the whole experience in and just make the most of it, and just not let stress ruin the week for you, because this is the week you look forward to all year. 3 is a good number. It's easy to find a place for 3 people to stay. It helps really cut the expense down. And you start getting to 5, 6, 7, that's hard, to find that many, a place with that many beds. It's hard to find a place with that much parking. You can get creative and get 3 trucks and boats parked in a pretty small little spot. So 3 is a good number, and we all get along. We all got about the same demeanor as far as, what time we're gonna get up and, what we want to do for supper, things like that. It's a great friendship and partnership, as far as rooming goes. The last thing you need to be worried about, when you're out here trying to fish and make a living, is getting along with your roommates. So it's been a blessing to be able to room with those 2 guys. Trying to catch a dang schooler right now. First ones I've seen. They just came up. How many have you caught? For real? Huh. I've had 1, 2, 3 bites and I ain't landed a damn one of them. So I I threw my dang frog up in this little shallow spot and was reeling it along, and one boiled around, and my frog got past the boil and it started waking up behind it and ate it, and then it started swimming off, and I could see it like waking off, and I thought it was little. Well, I snatched on it when I did it, about to snatch the rod back from me and took off and come off. And then I've had another one blow up on it that I missed and had like 3 follow it. And they were like, 2 of them were like 2-pounders and one of them was like a 3 or 4-pounder. It was a big one, but it wasn't really like right up on my stuff. Like I think it saw it and rose up out here by the boat and then it took off. I mean, it wasn't like about to eat it or nothing, but it was a big one. Some of them were really little, but one of them looked like a decent one. You know, that's the thing about practice that makes it fun and frustrating is you just got to keep trying a bunch of things, keep an open mind, until you really get to kind of figure out what you think is going to end up being the deal. But, you know, today we fished some grass, we fished out deep, we run down the bank, we fished some timber. You know, and I hadn't gotten a feel for anything that I think is going to be significantly better than anything else. So just going to keep kind of moving around until the, you know, fish give us a sign that we're looking for and helps us get dialed in and start focusing more on one thing in practice and get it figured out for the tournament. Heck, it's getting close to dinner time, so I think we're gonna ride down here. One thing that makes Lake Ouachita super unique is we have a subway that's right on the lake. Pull up, tie your boat off, and go in and get a sandwich. I think we're gonna ride down there real quick and get us a bite to eat and cool off a little bit and get a fresh mind and a fresh start for this afternoon. I may not get a bite on the lake, but I can get a bite at Subway.